Communication is key when you want to become the best leading version of yourself. And there is an area of communication that so many people struggle with, and it's actually such an important part of it all. It is the ability to disagree. Most people think that a disagreement is a negative thing, that it's a fight and that it's disrespect. But actually, when you have conflict built upon a layer of trust, it becomes something very different. It becomes two or more people trying to solve a problem together. And so we can't hide away from conflict, but instead we need to make sure that the trust is there so that we can help each other arrive at the solution that we both want. And in this video today, I'm going to give you 3 methods of communication that you can use the next time you're in a disagreement about something. These are the methods that the best leaders use and the best communicators use, so you get to learn these for yourself today. Let's get into it. The first thing to do, if you find yourself having a disagreement with somebody, is to establish common ground. Remember, we want to create a trustworthy environment so that we can help the other person understand that we want the same thing, and so all we're going to do here is problem solve together. You're going to share what you know, I'm going to share what I know, and we're going to figure this thing out. So finding the common ground nice and early is a great way to build that trust. So for example, we might say something like, look, are we disagreeing here about the goal, or are we disagreeing about the method? But if you can establish that, then it means that the other one is probably something that you both agree on. So for example, if we're disagreeing on the method, so the how we're going to do something, but we do agree on the goal, which is that we know what we're trying to do here, then we can use that as our common ground. And we can say, well, we both agree on this. We both know that we want that to happen. Equally, if it's the goal we disagree on, but we know that the method is something that we do agree on, we can say, well, we both know that we're not sure where this goes, but we can both agree that this is how we get there, right? So there are 2 different ways to look at that. And once you've established that common ground with someone, it helps them to understand and feel like you're not out to get them, like there's something here that is collaborative and that you can work together to achieve something that you both want. That common ground is really important, so establish that as early as you can. Listen very carefully. When you have a disagreement with someone, make sure that it stays like this. It's not personal. Let's just assume that for the process of this, the disagreement that you're having is in the work context and you just see things differently. You've got different opinions, maybe you've got different references, you've got different information, and you just haven't figured out what to agree on yet. When that's the case, it's not personal. It doesn't have to go there. This is about figuring out what we do and how we get a result together. And for you, it's about becoming that leading version of yourself. So, next time, it's not personal. Stay objective. 2 of the most important words when you are having a disagreement and you're coming to the end of that disagreement, these words are so key. Decide and agree. Let's look at them one by one. The word decide is an interesting word. Most people think it's the same as choice. To choose something and to decide something are very different. A choice would be that you've got 5 options and you go, that's the one I choose. But a decision, if you look at the word decide, it's like pesticide or suicide or homicide, it implies taking something away. To decide something means to have 5 options and take that one away, then that one, then that one, then that one, to be left with one. It's different to the way you choose. So in this context, to decide is to look at all the options and discuss them one by one and eliminate the ones that are not the way that you're going to go with this, so that you can be left with one. That's how you make a decision when you're having a disagreement. You are left with the option that fits best for both of you. Once you've done that, you then must agree. And you, as the person who can only control themselves and no one else, has to take responsibility and to lead yourself and lead the conversation to say something like this. Now that we've decided on that, can we agree that this is the way that we're going to do it? Or it might be, what can we agree on now that will help us to move forwards? Or it might be an agreement on time. So can we all agree that this needs to be figured out by Wednesday? Or can we all agree that by this time next month we're going to be in this position? Because it brings clarity and accountability to the situation. And remember, this began as a disagreement, so it needs to end as an agreement. That way, you know that you've moved to a positive outcome in what was a position of conflict. But remember, conflict is a good thing when it's built on a foundation of trust, because it simply becomes a group problem-solving exercise. Lastly, when it comes to disagreements or any kind of communication, remember that we all have different personality styles, and this will be based on the way we learn, the way we operate, the way we think, but also our experiences and reference points that we have in life. So personally, I'm always a big advocate of the DISC personality structure, which is dominant, influencer, steady, and conscientious. So think about the type of personality, and if you don't know what DISC style you are, and you don't know what DISC style they are, then that's okay. I wouldn't expect you to. That's when people like me come in to help you, because I can give you these assessment tools and you can figure it out. But on the surface, if someone's a dominant personality style, then agree on speed, agree on efficiency. They want results and they want them quickly. So approach in that same way and you will click with them and you will have far less fallout. If they are an influencer personality style, so they're a people person, they like working in collaboration, working in teams, then make sure that you say things like, look, this is no reflection on what I feel about you. This is no reflection on you as a person. I just see it differently. I see it like this and you see it like that. That's a really good approach to take with someone who's an I style. For someone who's more of an S, so more of a steady personality, they just want structure and they want safety and they want things to be okay, and harmony is really important. So saying something like, listen, I just need to go through a few things with you. Just need to look over a few things with you. If you've got some time, can we sit down and look at it together? Would be a great way to approach that initial conversation when you know that things aren't quite aligned. And lastly, a C-type or conscientious style person is going to thrive on data and evidence. So if you haven't got those numbers, then there's no point in having this conversation, because they will just hit you with their side, which is all data and it's all facts, figures and evidence. And that should always win over opinion. So make sure that you've got your data, your evidence, you've looked at your reports, so that you can ask questions about the data together and figure out the best road to take. So as a little extra, hopefully that will help you. But again, don't expect you to know all this stuff. That's where people like me come in, help your organization, help your team to understand these things. So thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, if you've come all the way through to the end, hit subscribe on my channel, because that way I'll know you're watching and I make videos like this all of the time. So until I see you again, good luck with the next conversation that you have that starts as a disagreement but ends in a positive way. Stick to the structure and you'll be fine. See you next time.